Hey, I'm Heyzeus, and look, I've got some explaining to do. Obviously, there's really a question that you're all going to want to have answered, and I don't want to beat around the bush and mess around. I want to get straight to the point. I've clearly got some confessing to do. I really feel that it's time I got onto it and gave the answers to the question that everybody's looking for. So, without further ado, I will explain what this schmuck here is doing with an AWP boom. Obviously the question that all of you are dying for an answer for, and the answer is actually pretty simple. I'm a bit of a money whore. You see, for me, this AWP isn't a skin, it's a vehicle for profit, but don't get the wrong idea. I may be a money whore, but I'm not completely selfish. I share the wealth. I mean, for example, when I go on a date, I pay for as much as 25% of the bill, I share it around. And in this video, I want to keep up with this generous spirit and show you guys just what I'm doing and how you can take advantage of it to profit yourself. So I bought this AWP for a pretty reasonable 25 Australian dollars. That's about 18 American dollars on the Steam market, with a buy order obviously, so I got a couple of dollars off the price of the normal market listings. And more importantly, I didn't just buy one of them. I bought 11, 275 Australian dollars worth of AWP booms. Now, some of these I've actually had for about 6 months, but anyway, I've got 11 of these, and there's a very good reason why I bought them. So let's just get this weapon up on the market and look at its price history. If we look at its price during the end of November 2016, as you can see, it was worth around $24. By March next year, it was worth more like $35. If we skip ahead to late November 2017, you can see that this time it was worth more like $29. But once again, if we skip ahead to February, the price has gone up $11 as well to around $40. Now, figuring out what's happened here isn't particularly hard. If we look at the game on Steam charts, as you can see during the corresponding months, the game is sort of going through a bit of a boom time. Beginning around about December the 25th, there tends to be a big pickup in the player base, and this also happens to coincide with an event that I've been reliably informed exists on December the 25th, and apparently involves family gatherings, good vibes, trees, turkey, and young people suddenly getting access to quite a bit of disposable income to spend on skins. So, there's suddenly a large pickup in the amount of people playing CS, right around the time that a lot of players suddenly have a lot more money to spend on skins, and curiously, the AWP boom is going up in price at the same time. Probably not a coincidence. So, why have I bought these skins? Well, you see, it's because I feel like there's something really intrusive and unpleasant and not very pretty that the graphics designer probably thought was a good idea at the time, but maybe in hindsight isn't such a good idea, that's giving me, these vibes that it might be a good time to buy some of these skins. History might be about to repeat itself, particularly since if the AWP boom manages to reach $40 again, which might be a stretch, but it's certainly not out of the question either, my $275 is going to turn into something more like $382 once you account for Steam tax. And if it reaches that price by the end of February, well, I've basically only waited 2 months for that profit, which is a pretty short time span. And in any case, even if it doesn't work out the way I'm intending, the gun isn't particularly likely to lose price. January is typically a very, very good time for the game. CSGO has just gone free to play anyway, so that will probably bring in an influx of new players. It should be, pretty safe. But anyway, the purpose of this video isn't just for me to boast about my investments. I actually want to give you some useful advice to take away. I mean, first of all, you're probably wondering why I'm focusing on the AWP boom, because, in theory, wouldn't this apply to pretty much every skin in the game? And to some extent, it does, but the reason I'm focusing on the AWP boom is that it's got some very special characteristics. And to be specific about these, it's a play skin on a very desirable weapon from an old case that's quite expensive and therefore not being opened much, where there isn't really that many inputs left lying around to trade up for it with. And the reason this is important is that it means the supply of them is fairly fixed. That the market can't be restocked as easily through people opening them out of cases or trading up for them or getting them through drops or anything like that. There is a relatively set number of AWP booms out there, and therefore if the number of people wanting one increases, the price can only really go up in response. There's no way for the market to be restocked in any substantial sense. In fact, Kids can't even lose them on gambling sites run by people like James Phantom Lord Vargo anymore, pictured in the bottom right hand corner by the way. They've got no choice but to physically, virtually, hold on to these skins and play with them. Obviously though, there's a whole bunch of other skins that also fit these categories, and actually if you look at the portfolio of stuff I've bought up over the year, you can see that I've got a mix of stuff from a mix of different cases. I've got AWP Redlines from the Winter Offensive case, I've got USPS Orions from the Huntsman case, I've got Oni Tajis from the Hydra case, and I may have focused on AWPs and USPSs here, but the reality is pretty much anything from these older cases that isn't complete and utter dog shit is probably going to go up in price over the next couple of months. So you've got a wealth of stuff to choose from. The one question that might remain though is when you should actually buy. Now, I would like to point out that this video is probably going to be coming out during the Steam holiday sale. So if you're watching this, it's probably a Steam sale going on right now. Prices tend to fall during Steam sales. You can probably get stuff a bit cheaper than usual, and that's a hint. If you're thinking of investing in some stuff for the next couple of months, now could be a really good time to do it. Alternatively, maybe you're one of these kids who's going to have some Christmas money to spend. Well, what I'd like to point out if you're in that situation is that if you're willing to forego getting a snazzy new skin from a recent case for now, but keeping in mind that skins from recent cases are virtually guaranteed to go down in price, and if you're willing to go for something from an older collection instead, you can be basically guaranteed that your Christmas purchase will have gone up in price after a couple of months, and you should be able to sell it off for a nice little profit. Food for thought. Anyway, and with that, we're pretty much out of time for this video. I feel like doing some trade-ups. Maybe I should do some of that next. Anyway, I hope this video had some useful information in it. I'm Heyzeus. Thanks for watching. See ya.